I can't.
You know what?
Yeah, did you prefer this? Say like in it's huge. And it broke off of itself. And money was $6. Stop moving. For sure. Yeah, I got to go there. Because I was talking to Ron about it, and he said it was the second one. He said that they built the ladder over it. Because that one, the second one, blocked a path. Enjoy.
Food is so annoying.
I love food. One of my favorite things in the whole world.
But it's really annoying. I find it really annoying. Because I just sit there and I bubble and milk, but after.
I was actually warned by an Ayurvedic doctor never to overeat.
Exactly. It's the worst thing. The Japanese
don't
say
do
that
it.
too,
Just don't do it.
Yeah,
Just very, very
It's
definitely.
very simple, actually.
Yeah.
It's funny because you know how you feel when you don't overeat, how good it is, and yet you still do it.
Well,
It's not you, it's me.
well, no, I do. I'm just well, I think we did good. Although I don't know how you do that.
Did you want to?
Probably not.
Yes.
Probably not.
Okay, let's do the mudras. I say we do the mudras
Oh,
first.
Dr. Means so sick.
Oh, yeah, we could go through them. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Get a nice pillow. Okay. Right, that's what you said. Sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. Eat one. Right about now. Let's see. You know what? Let's sit in Vajrasana or Virasana, one of those two.
Yeah, just change a bit the cross length.
And in fact, we can go from there to Manduki. So you know, I'll just share with you that one of the most important things with this prolonged sitting that we've been doing, bless you, is to have, that's why I brought that jacket, something like that beneath your ankles. This goes like 108% towards preventing your stuff from falling asleep and stuff like that. If you have something cushy like that lambskin beneath the ankles here, right? So wherever your ankles are, underneath here, and wearing socks is good so that you have some cloth or something between the ankle bones also. And then just as far as cross-legged seat, I think mostly you know, but you want to make sure that your knees can touch down, you see. So if they cannot, then put something beneath there. Like you'll see Rainbow does this often, and he really does a good job of it. He always is super equipped with props so that his knees can rest on something. This is really important. So if you do just a few things like that, your prolonged sitting practice will be a lot easier for the next day. Anyway. Siddhasana, Siddhayoni Asana, I don't know. We won't go through those. Kenchari Mudra, who doesn't know Kenchari Mudra here?
I wouldn't mind going through. Okay.
So Kenchari Mudra is where you curl the tongue onto the roof of the mouth so that the bottom tip of the tongue is reaching up into the nasopharyngeal, up towards here. Okay? So try it. Curl your tongue. The underside of your tongue and the tip is reaching upwards.
It's supposed to be touching behind that, right? Like up into your nose.
So not only are you curling the tongue and touching the upper palate, you're reaching the tip of the tongue up into, towards the Ajna chakra.
Mine doesn't come close.
No.
Mine does.
She's been secretly cutting her frenulum.
Well, no, because when I read the book, the Hatha Yoga Praditi Fund, they talked about that. But I think it's just from practicing.
It is from practicing.
Cool, yeah.
I mean, when I first did it, I couldn't do it, but now I feel that I can get it right up in
Yeah,
there.
so it's not just to curl the tongue, it's to actually reach it.
We can
And-
stretch it, right?
By the way,
We can stretch
you can
it
do
too,
it,
right?
right? But also, something that really helps is to smile the corner of your lips. Really helps. So if you smile, in other words, once you've done Kenchari Mudra, just relax the corners of your lips upwards. Yeah. And Swamiji always says if that feels like a strain, just let your teeth rest against the upper teeth, right? And you could start by practicing curling the tongue and letting it rest against the upper teeth, and then take it to the palate, and then take it a little further back. So do it slowly like that in increments. Kenchari Mudra. And then it gets comfortable. Promise. I promise. Vajrali Mudra Sahajali. Let's do those, since they come in the Kriya practice. So it's called Vajrali for men, and it's called Sahajali for women. And it's the urethral sphincters. So my teacher Diane Lee calls this the pee stopping muscles, the pee stoppers. So you all can feel what that is, right? Stopping, imagining that you're stopping pee mid-flow. Please don't practice Vajrali Sahajali Mudra by trying to stop pee mid-flow. This messes with that function of peeing. It's like if you start messing with the anal sphincter system, by trying to stop peristalsis, it's the same. Because the bladder also, peristalsis is when the bowel goes like this and you know you have to go poo. That's called peristalsis. So the bladder also does that. It also has a peristaltic action. And if you do too much stopping pee mid-flow, when you don't, when you're not trying to get to the bathroom on time, you know what I mean? So in other words, I'm just saying don't do it as a practice. But you can do it, you can try it once, when next time you have to pee, you can try it just to see if you have the action. So that's Vajrali Mudra, Sahajali Mudra. Shanmukhi, well you know that, so Shambhavi, how about Shambhavi? Everyone okay with Shambhavi? Are you okay with that one? Miss Nina? Shambhavi. It's this. So, who else? Anyone else?
I don't know which one it is.
Shambhavi is where you focus the gaze into the third eye point and sort of inwards, right? And in sadhana class, like in Vancouver, when we do it, we always do it in pairs because there is a tendency, you begin like with Nasikagra, so you could all just do this very quickly. Just gaze at your nose tip, put your fingertip there, gaze at your nose tip. You should see an inverted V. That's what you should see when you do that. Nasikagra drishti. And if you just let the fingertip float up in front of your, and bring it towards the mid-eyebrow point, and then touch the mid-eyebrow point, and focus your gaze on the sensation of your touch, right? Generally speaking, most people will converge their eyeballs at an asymmetric rate. So one eyeball will be wandering off one way or the other, and the other, one eyeball usually converges better is all I'm trying to say. So, Zoe, could you come up here for a sec?
I have a headache.
Oh, you're gonna have a
Sorry.
headache, okay, I won't ask you. She's really good at it, that's why I want her to do it, but that's okay. And we'll ask you maybe tomorrow. Anyway, so we work in partners so that you can help each other with the wandering eye. And usually, well, I would say there are very few people who can tell which eye is actually wandering. So, you'll sit in front of your partner and you'll do this practice, and your partner will go like this and help you with which eyeball needs to actually come back and converge into the center. That's Shambhavi Mudra. And
I really struggle with that one, so how can we practice that?
well, I tell you, Leonarda, one of the people who comes to Asana class, had this great idea where she filmed herself with her phone doing it. And that's how she worked, by herself. She videoed herself doing Shambhavi Mudra, and so she has a wandering eye, and you have to figure out which eye it is, because when you video yourself, it flips, right? So put a beauty mark with your lipstick or something on one side so you know which side it is, because that, right? Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
It's really funky. So anyway, that's how she does it.
Okay.
But this helps, having the finger right here.
Yeah, no, it really does. That's how we do it, is we just go like this with the nose, from the nose tip to the Shambhavi. So Nasikagra and Shambhavi are related, right? They're the one leads to the other.
Sorry, Padma. So which is Shanmukhi?
Shanmukhi is closing the seven gates.
Okay.
7 gates. Which are the 7 gates?
Ears,
Ears,
eyes,
eyes,
nose,
mouth.
And the mouth, right? 2, 4, 6, 7. And then the extra 2 for Naumukhi, which means 9.
Vajoli,
Mula.
And
Mula
Mula.
Bandha.
Yeah. There's no Ashwini in the Kriya practices, have you noticed?
You can
Yeah.
book the rest, but
Yeah, I
Swamiji
know.
doesn't teach. I do it.
Yeah. So Ashwini Mudra is the third lower gate mudra. Ashwini, as you might guess, is the anal sphincters. Okay, Ashwini. So this is where you close the anal sphincters, and my teacher Diane Lee calls that the gas stoppers. See, if you remember those very simple terms, you'll never forget. There's the key stoppers and there's the gas stoppers, and the twain shall never meet. Because they're completely separate functions, right? And mula is in the middle. So mula for women is a upward vaginal contraction. And for men, it's a prostate contraction or testicular. Is that true? Why am I looking at you, I wonder?
More prostate.
Or testicular, no? Because like in Tai Chi, in martial arts, they actually retract the testicles. Right? Through that practice. Yeah, we do. So that's no? Do you beg to differ?
No, I just said those guys, no.
But I'm just curious, do you do it by retracting the prostate though? You know?
That's all.
Well, you guys can discuss that
Yeah.
together and report back to us tomorrow. So that's Vajrali, Sahajali, and Ashwini Mudra. Shambhavi and Nasikagra are good. The key with Shambhavi and Nasikagra, keep the lips smiling. Oh, by the way, the reason for that is when you smile, when you turn up the corners of the lips, the upper ends of the 2 side channels, Ida Pingala, stay open and relaxed. And also it goes a long way towards keeping you relaxed, because Shambhavi and Nasikagra will quickly make you crazy unless you're super relaxed. You gotta really be relaxed. So this is a really good way to stay super. Okay, the corners of the lips look like that. Nasikagra. Mula Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Uddiyana Bandha is done on exhalation retention only. Mula Bandha and Jalandhara Bandha can be done on exhalation or inhalation retention. Uddiyana Bandha, my recommendation is 12-hour empty stomach.
Yeah.
9 to 12-hour empty stomach. So we're not going to do it right now. We can do Mula though, and we can do Jalandhara. So Mula again, Mula is the activation. It's what we do, right? We did it this morning. Anytime you're drawing energy up your legs or up your arms, it's like a Mula, okay? It's like a root lock. and especially when you're standing on your feet. And we'll do it in one sec, because we are gonna do some asana in just a second here. So let's just practice Mula Bandha just for a minute. So sit in,
Is that the one that we talk about the slurp?
yeah, inner slurp. So Mala calls it the inner slurp. You all know it as the inner slurp if you've come to my class before. So you could do that. So if you do that, which is Kaki Mudra, if you do Kaki Mudra with Nasikadra Drishti, you will be right on your Mula Bandha. Try that. Nasikadra Drishti in combination with Kaki Mudra. Do you feel it in the vaginal muscles? This upward draw, that's an inner slurp, okay? That's Mula Bandha. That's Mula Bandha. And I just want to say that in work that I did as a long time ago in some other life, about 30 years ago or something, or 15 years ago, I worked with many, many women who had like urinary incontinence or whatever, back pain, lots of different forms of back pain. And there's a real haziness in the mind of people who have dysfunction of the pelvic floor or even back pain, where you say to them, lift up your, do an inner slurp, and they do the opposite. They bear down on the pelvic floor. They actually do. So, on, what do they call it? When they measure, right? Electrically, the muscle action. So, but this particular method, you can't be bearing down when you do that. So it's a really good way to do it. Yeah. Especially, so that's why Nasikadra, I don't know if you remember, but Swamiji was having us do Nasikadra with the Mula, right? And because it's also connected, the scent of smell is connected to the Muladhara chakra. So Nasikadra Drishti in combination with Kaki Mudra is a really good way to understand and perfect Mula Bandha. So you feel what that is. You can do it on an inhalation. So try it without this Kaki Mudra thing. Just try the Mula Bandha. And then do it on an inhale. And then release. And do that a couple more times on an inhale. And then completely relax, like totally let it go. You have to really work on letting it go. And then when you think that you've relaxed your pelvic floor, relax it a few more times. And then do it on an exhale. So through your mouth or through your nose. Feel it? You can do it just as well, right? You may find one or the other is easier. You can do it with both phases of the breath, okay? Right? Works great. Jalandhara Bandha is the throat lock, so this is where we always say suck into just above the throat pit. So literally suck the breath in through here. Literally. Like suck it in through here. Right. So where that suction leads to the back of the throat is the very place where the back of the throat closes when we swallow. So just swallow. Feel where the throat has its closure, the epiglottis. That is where Vishuddhi chakra is located. And when we close that back of the throat without swallowing, we're doing Jalandhara Bandha. And Jalandhara Bandha has many subtle and gross variations, right? So this is a more subtle variation of Jalandhara Bandha, where you can do it by, that's called Ujjayi breathing, by the way, right? When you suck the breath in through the front of the throat. So do that just for a minute. Suck the breath into the front, through the front of the throat to the back, and send it back out through that point at the front of the throat. Notice that you make that sign sound like the ocean. That's Ujjayi. And can you also notice that there's a very subtle this? You can open your eyes and keep doing it. A very subtle, but it's happening. I can see you all doing it when you suck the breath in through the front of the throat. now that I've said that, you can just bring your awareness there and notice that actually you are doing that.
Retracting.
Just super subtle
Oh,
retraction of
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
skull back over the top of the spine. Very subtle.
AKA Joanne.
Yeah, doing a Joanne. Feel it? So that's Jalandhara Bandha. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Viparita Karani, or in shoulder stand, or in short stop position because you're going to do Uddiyana Bandha. Jalandhara Bandha, you know, it's not this. It can be that you drop the chin onto the sternum, but it's still this. It might be that, but it's also... Did you see what I did?
Yeah.
So, okay, so even if you bend over and you let the head, you know, you think it's this, right? But it's that plus what we're doing right now. It's that retraction action that locks the throat. So that's Jalandhara Bandha. And Jalandhara Bandha is really important in lots of different things. It's just too long of a story to go through right now. But you know, I cue it a lot in asana, right? A lot. So you know, you have this experience with all the bandhas. So Mula Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, and Uddiyana Bandha all together are called Maha Bandha. That means Maha Bandha, all three together. And you would only do that on what phase of breath? Exhalation, retention. Exhalation, retention. Okay, because the Uddiyana Bandha is actually happening as the out breath comes to its end, to its close. That's when Uddiyana Bandha. And Uddiyana Bandha is induced from Jalandhara Bandha. Induced from Jalandhara Bandha. We can't do it right now. Maybe we'll try in the morning. Maybe if you don't eat too much breakfast, we could try it in the morning. You'll see how you feel. Unmani, Swamiji went over that. Okay, so let's do Manduki Asana and then we can stand up later. So Manduki Asana, really only Kazi can do it.
Yeah.
So if you're lying flat, right? If you're lying flat on the ground, your pelvic floor wants to connect. So you see how she does that so easily? So these ankles, of hers are in a 90-degree angle. That means Tadasana. It's Tadasana position. Are you with me back there?
We listen.
Really? What did I say?
90-degree angle.
Tadasana ankles.
Okay, but if our ankles can't do that, then they just can't do it.
So that's actually Manduki Asana. Manduki Asana. So then the different variations are, you could go like this. Bhadrasana is the variation. So Bhadrasana is where you could just sit on the heels. Or you could separate the feet and just touch the toes and sit between like that. But the point is, right, with the mudra, Manduki, in the kriya, that your pelvic floor must be making contact with something solid. So then if your pelvic floor isn't, then you need to sit on a bolster or something like that. Okay.
But should
So
we be,
try Bhadrasana.
should we try and have like this and sort of a little bit get our ankles out? Like, I can do this, but they can't go more than that.
Well, I'll
Or
tell
should
you
we
what.
be doing this?
I'll tell you what, we'll all try an exercise, we'll all try something. Frog sit from series 5. Which is a really good way to become able to do it. But you have to have something really cushy, like a blanket or something. If you all have your,
That's amazing.
if you don't have something like this, use 2 cushions. So when we practice for Manduki Asana, you can bring your knees and your ankles to 90-degree angle. However, the difficult part is to park the pelvis between the 2 knees.
Yeah.
It's easy to take the pelvis forward and easy to take the pelvis back. But But to park the pelvis between the two knees, with the knees and ankles at 90 degrees is not easy at all. But if you see, watch Kazish, you can do it. Zoe, you're doing a really nice job there too. So this is a really good way to practice for Manduki Asana.
Oh my God.
And if you're on something like I'm on, then you can let the knees slide out.
Manduki means,
What am I doing now? Frog.
Manduki means
Frog.
pain to the mind. If you translate it literally, it's manduk,
Dukkha.
which is pain to the mind.
It means frog.
That's you far forward.
No, you don't want to be forward. Get your pelvis between your knees. So down. And then the knees are at 90. Knees are at 90. Yeah, that's it. And then so this is really, this will really help. So Lisa, your pelvis is too far back, you know that.
I'm sure it makes space.
There you go. Yeah. And then you just let gravity bring your pelvic floor down.
Down? Over time, Lisa. She's a decades.
Or back. Okay, then don't. But it's well, I would bring my knee open the ankle and just I will make like that and just that.
There's a lot of
Really
there's
feel it.
benefit in some of this. It's like pretty much impossible for Western men.
Yeah, I mean, that push your pelvis slightly.
I rolled it on top, and I'm the first one to teach this one.
So you don't have to
lift,
lift.
so that the ankle bones actually suck together. So not just extends out, so when this one moves in, then you gain control through the top of the foot. There's a little bit of push from the front, right?
So let's stand up.
So from that place,
Yeah, that's the only
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you start with the foundation of how to break that. I think the foot fossilizes it. The ankle bone.
It's just neat when you can see how someone does it, because then you get it almost gets you closer to going in. You're like, oh,
Like this, that's this for most people, right? So you need to,
So just want to give you a heads up, everyone.
and then
Tomorrow morning in Asana class at 10:30, which means after breakfast, we're going to be doing twists.
So we don't have too much breakfast.
I recommend you have very little, because you're going to be so sorry if you don't. Because we're going to focus on twists in the morning practice, and then maybe we can also do Uddiyana Bandha, right? Like a nice Uddiyana Bandha.
too bad we can't have
That's
asanas before.
Yeah.
Right,
that's
very
very
good.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, I love doing it.
Okay, here's what I'd like to do for just the rest of today's asana class, is still want to move you. You know, I want to move you because, don't you think? Don't you want to move?
You move us.
Is this comfortable for you all? So, this is good, you're all doing a really nice job, but what I'd like you to do is try to keep your torso still. And isolate the action to your pelvis. Head still, torso still. And try to make the circle a circle. I know, isn't that fascinating? Like there are little bits and pieces in there where it's actually not circular, you know, it's so weird. It's fascinating, right? So do that in both directions. Keep your head still, your shoulders still. Start to raise your arms, because there's a hula hoop there. You gotta get your arms up out of the way, and then you have to start going like this. to keep it in the air, right? Little bit of is that what it's called, momentum? Momentum, so go. You actually have to speed up to keep